Hi, good evening. We'll start in a couple more minutes. I think people are still joining. So another 2, 3 minutes and we'll start. Hi, good evening. Can I have cameras on, please?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Awesome. How's
Good
everyone
evening, ma'am.
doing?
Good evening, ma'am. Actually, I'm outside, so
It's me.
I'll keep off my camera for some time.
Sure, that's fine. Is someone else also saying something? I could hear someone speaking, I think, in the middle.
I just said good evening, ma'am.
Oh, awesome. Good evening. Thank you for those who have switched on their cameras. It's always helpful. Okay, awesome.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Okay,
ma'am.
good evening. I think we can stop saying good evening now. Otherwise, I'll have to say it 28 times in the class now. Okay, how's everyone doing? Midweek blues. Are you guys waiting for your weekends to come? Or is it going good? All good. Okay, that's good to know. Awesome. Okay, all right. So we start with today's class. Today we're going to take a deep dive into understanding social media platforms. Why do people use each of these platforms? How is it relevant for a brand to be present on any of these platforms? And we're also going to understand the algorithm a little bit more today, okay? Because most everything that we do on Instagram or in fact any social media platform is dependent on how the algorithm promotes it. So we're going to take a look at what is the algorithm, how does it influence your content, and how can you maneuver it better for the benefit of your own brand or your own pages that you guys are managing. Okay, so I'll get to the PPT. Just give me a moment. Super. Okay. We start with a question. Which platform do you think is the oldest, youngest platform or the oldest platform in social media? Popular social media platforms. Any guesses?
Facebook or Reddit?
Facebook or Reddit? Okay.
YouTube.
Facebook.
Okay. Facebook, a lot of Facebook and YouTube. Okay.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay. Interesting.
Outlook.
Outlook. Okay. I don't think we can consider Outlook to be a social media platform though.
The youngest is, I think, the Threads launched by.
Youngest would be Threads. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Among the popular ones. Yes. Yeah. Sort of. Yes. Let's take a look at the timelines. This is ages as of 2025, which is practically as good as 2026 because we're still just starting out on 2026. The youngest amongst the most popular ones are TikTok and Snapchat. The oldest in the system is actually LinkedIn. Of course, the popularity differs, and of course, how many people used each of these platforms at any given time differs. But this is how old each of the platforms are. Okay, and how any platform started off when they were born is not at all how those platforms work today. Look at ourselves also, right? There was a point in time where we were all so active on Facebook. We used to post where we are eating, where we are going, who we are with. If we attended any function and took 20 pictures, we would upload all 20 pictures on Facebook as an album. Remember that time? And look at us now. We barely use Facebook, right? Maybe the marketplace, or maybe if you're house hunting, you would go on Facebook and join those groups that have, flat and flatmates groups, etc. Right? YouTube earlier started off as long form content, but now it has something called YouTube Shorts, which is short form content, right? X, the name itself has changed. It used to be called Twitter, and now it's called X, right? So now the platforms work the way they were in the when they first started, and that's also because the people who are using these platforms evolved over time, and we had a very big geopolitical, I would say, situation that happened in all of our lifespans, which is COVID. So there is an era that is pre-COVID, and there is an era that is post-COVID, especially in the field of social media. Because while social media was growing at a very steady pace, COVID is the time where everything and everyone on social media boomed because everything moved online. All our content moved online, right? So let's decode different social media platforms and how unique they are. Let's look at how each platform was launched and why it became popular. Okay, LinkedIn was launched and became popular because it let people show their jobs, resumes, and network professionally online, not just for fun, right? This is one social media platform where you willingly go and can show off or boast about what you're doing at work, and people will not, be cringed out by it, or people will not be annoyed by it because it's literally a platform built where you can go and show off about the work that you are doing, where you are working, any projects that you have been working on, etc. It is a platform where you can look for jobs, you can post jobs for which you are hiring. And of course, you can network with like minded people, professionals in the same industry as you. So you keep in touch. So somebody you worked with 10 years ago, might have moved to Canada, but you will still know what they're up to professionally because you're connected on their LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is one of the most popular mediums of finding a job as well. And it is also a very popular um, medium of posting your requirements when it comes professionally as well. A lot of times, when I'm hiring for roles in my team, what works better is me posting on LinkedIn saying, "Hey, I'm hiring," versus taking the whole HR route, etc. Similarly, Facebook launched and became popular because it let friends connect in real life online with profiles and walls, not just strangers on chat rooms like earlier sites. If you remember the times, I don't know if any of you all remember the times of Orkut, where things were online, but it was chat boxes, right? Facebook, on the other hand, let you connect with multiple people at the same time. And all of these friends could see what is happening between you and other friends also. So you remember Facebook walls where we would tag, I am eating here with 5 other people. So you could tag everyone that you are eating with. If you go out for a function, you can post a whole album of pictures um, of the function or the event that you attended, right? So Facebook not only let you connect with your friends one on one, but also became a platform where everyone could see what is up with you, what you're up to in life, and be in touch with you, chat with you, post on your wall, tag you on funny memes, etc. YouTube was launched and became popular because it let anyone upload and watch videos easily in one place instead of downloading video files. Before YouTube, we had songs and movies downloaded on our computers, not even laptops. And in those computers, we could only watch the same videos again and again because downloading a video in that kind of an internet network was a big joke. And you would have to sit for hours for something very small to be also downloaded. So YouTube congregated all of the videos into one place. People knew that YouTube is a platform for long form videos. So when I go on YouTube, if I see a 45-minute long video, I'm not going to be annoyed or I'm not going to be pissed because I understand that platform is built for that. Whereas if I go on Instagram, if I see a 20-minute long video, I'll skip within the first 2 seconds because why are you showing me a long format video on a short format content platform, right? Similarly, X or Twitter was launched and became popular. Sorry? Okay. X or Twitter was launched and became popular because it made posting short, instant updates easy, like a public SMS message for everyone to see. So Twitter had character limits, so you couldn't post big words or big paragraphs, just very quick updates. Soon it turned into something where people were sharing their opinions in a quick and witty manner. A lot of content creators were born on Twitter, people who were able to tweet funny things, witty things, and of course, any sort of news updates, any updates that brands want to give in a real time basis. Twitter became the platform for that, right? Instagram was launched and became popular because it focused on sharing photos with filters, making pictures look beautiful and social at the same time. Instagram, or rather instant gramming, was all about wherever you are, you take a beautiful picture of it, you upload it, and that was instant gramming. It was started off as a platform for sharing photographs versus what it is today, where you're seeing reels, you're scrolling reels one after the other on Instagram. That was not the platform when it was launched, which is why when Instagram launched reels as a format, a lot of content creators who had built their careers on Instagram were pissed because they said this platform was for sharing photos. We built our followers bases sharing photos, and now you're suddenly asking us to make short form videos and dance in front of the camera. We don't know how to do any of it. So how do we continue to become more popular on social media like Instagram, right? Which is why it got a lot of negative flack when it launched something like a Reels. But of course, now looking at the success of Reels, it was a very smart move for Instagram to do something like that. Similarly, Pinterest was launched and became popular because it let people pin and collect ideas visually on boards instead of just bookmarking links. So before Pinterest, we would look up images on Google, we would bookmark the link or we'll save the photo or we copy the photo but it was very limited when it came to getting ideas and inspirations. Today on Pinterest, you have an idea and inspiration for any topic under earth, right? And you can create your own boards. Each board could be a separate category. You can put anything and everything you want into that board, right? That was Pinterest for us. Snapchat was launched and became popular because it made photos and messages disappear after viewing, which felt more private and more fun. So, Snap Streaks, I'm sure a lot of you have used or still use Snapchat, right? It was all about like sending the most randomest pictures and updates as messages to your friends. A way to sort of give even the littlest of updates about your day to your friends and to your family. And finally, TikTok was launched and became popular because it let people make short, music filled videos with powerful editing tools, making creating and joining trends super easy. So you have to remember that before the era of TikTok, when it came to YouTube or even Instagram, IGTV videos, the long format videos that Instagram used to have, it was all heavily edited, very carefully shot videos. But with the era of TikTok, anybody could be a content creator, anybody could be a video. All you needed is a camera and a topic to talk about. Not even a topic. You just needed a camera, some music, and you just had to stand in front of the camera and dance. You didn't even have to edit that video heavily to go viral, right? It made content creation more accessible to everybody. It made anyone feel that they could be a creator, that they can create videos and they can go viral on social media. Looking at the massive success of TikTok is when other platforms realized the importance and the growing relevance of short form content. Starting off with Instagram, which launched Reels as a competition to TikTok. And it worked amazingly well in a market like India because during 2020, in the year 2020, TikTok was banned in India. So we literally had no short form content. And at that time, when Instagram launched Reels, it blew up massively well in India because we did not have any other competing brands. Of course, after the launch of Reels, we also had Moj, MX Takatak, Josh, and all of that. But none of it could and none of it can still compete to the popularity of Reels on Instagram, right? And soon after Reels, YouTube launched its short format content called YouTube Shorts, right? So slowly brands caught up to it and understood that people's attention spans are drastically dropping. Nobody wants to watch a 20-minute long video on a scrolling app like Instagram, right? Which is why Reels blew up so much for Instagram. And that's the world of social media. Now, as a social media manager, at any given point, you might be working with brands who are active on all of these platforms. At some point, you will work with brands who are only active on, say, two platforms. When I was with Redbus, we were only majorly active on Instagram. We were not on Snapchat. YouTube was there, but for very brand related content. We were on Twitter, but again, only for PR related content. Whereas in Mandala, we are very active on YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, and also Twitter from time to time. LinkedIn, obviously, all brands are trying to build their content on LinkedIn, so that remains as is. None of the brands that I have worked with were active on Pinterest, unless like one or two home decor brands that I did short-term projects for. They used to use Pinterest, but other than that, I have never actively worked on a platform like Pinterest. So, but if I was to work for a home decor brand full time, I would definitely be most active on Pinterest because that's where people go for home decor inspiration and all of that, right? Each platform serves a different kind of audience. Each platform has its own relevance. Just because you're managing a social media page for a brand does not mean that you have to be on every single social media platform out there. You have to understand where is your target audience spending the most amount of time and accordingly choose those platforms to be present on. Now, for example, when I used to work with Redbus, we used to run our short-term ads on many OTT platforms. Okay. Now, while Netflix is the most common or most popular, most famous, if you had to say, we never advertised on a Netflix because one, that was not an option. Two, because the kind of audience that we were trying to talk to for Redbus was not an audience that was watching Netflix. It was an audience that was watching AHA Media, or they were watching MX Player, or it's an audience that was watching Jio Cinema or Hotstar for that matter. So we used to advertise in the places where we knew our ideal customer or our target audience is spending most of their time. But regardless of what your target audience look like, Instagram is a platform that all brands are present on and all brands want to build their popularity of followers on. Which is why when we talk about social media marketing today, largely Instagram takes the biggest chunk of the pie because that's where most amount of people are spending their time. 2 minutes you get free in between a meeting, you're on Instagram. You're on your way home after work, you're on Instagram. After dinner, you're scrolling Instagram. Before bed, you're scrolling Instagram. You wake up, the first thing that you do is check your Instagram. We are literally always on Instagram. So, of course, when we talk about social media marketing, Instagram becomes automatically the biggest contributor for any brand building activity that's happening on social media. Any questions? Anything you guys want to ask or add so far? Okay, moving on. If you want to do networking-led content, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X is the right platform that you should be on. If you want to create more visual-led presence for your brand, then you should be on Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok, or Moj, which is more active in India as a TikTok alternative. If you want to do video or streaming content, then you should be on YouTube, Twitch, Douyin, etc. Messaging led, which evolves into social, is WhatsApp, Telegram, WeChat, Line, etc. A community forum led platform would be Reddit or Discord, Quora, or ShareChat. If you want to publish your content, if you want to publish your blogs, then you should be on Medium, Substack, SoundCloud, or Goodreads. Right? Of course, there are more platforms now. Like if you are a musician, you want to list your music to appear on Spotify. There are other platforms like CD Baby, DistroKid, etc., who let you list your music. That then comes into Instagram's music library and also comes on platforms like Spotify, Ghana, etc. Right? Now, let's look at how do brands connect? What is the purpose and the usage of the platform? Right? Let's take CultFit as an example. We all know CultFit. We either have at some point used any cult product or been to a cult gym or maybe currently are also actively CultFit members, right? Let's take a look at the different kind of content that they have on their different platforms that they are present, okay? Now, this is a mix of their Instagram and their Facebook content. Let's watch it.
Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy.
Okay, see this. Okay, let's see this.
It starts with one step, one rep, one choice, again and again. Strength and resilience built over years of discipline. And in one moment, it all comes alive. This is where legacy begins.
Okay, we've seen this. I'm moving on to the next slide. We'll watch everything and then we'll have our discussion, okay? So moving to the next slide. Now, this is what is happening on their Twitter. Please take 2-3 minutes to read through it and understand what kind of content that they do on Twitter. Okay, moving to next slide. This is also their Twitter or X as we say. So as you can see, a lot of real-time updates. There's also complaints that they are addressing directly from their We Are Cult page. Okay, moving ahead. Okay, just giving you a sense of what they post. This is their LinkedIn. Okay, moving on.
Some teams were really good, and most of the team that we have played, they were extremely decent.
Our team have prepared really well. Every day, every weekends, we have to practice every day.
I wasn't expecting this level of competition.
This is a long format content on their YouTube, and there is also one more, which is basically they have these challenge videos where they post workout videos for you to follow. Okay, this is what their playlists look like. They also have a podcast playlist where they talk about health and nutrition, etc. Of course, they have their products integrated into it as well. Okay, so that's what their YouTube feed sort of looks like. Okay, now looking at this, what do you guys think about Culfit's content strategy? Like, how are they present on different kinds of platforms? Any thoughts? What do you guys understand by looking at how Culfit is posting on different mediums?
So on Instagram, they sharing the meme templates with the mimic time, I think.
Yeah.
On YouTube, they follow their followers. They sharing content with the challenges. Their with challenges content and yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right. Anyone else?
On YouTube, they are posting informative content,
Okay.
and on and they have kept their LinkedIn very professional. like not much meme or anything, like very professional networking kind of thing. And on Twitter, they are using meme template, and they're trying to like keep people interact. They're trying to interact with them ASAP.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, LinkedIn, they are using LinkedIn for a business purpose, more professional. And coming to YouTube, they are focusing each and every individual. So from normal people to anyone.
Okay.
Ma'am,
On
Insta.
YouTube, basically, yeah, Mayank, you can
No,
speak.
no. Please, take your time.
Yeah, so on YouTube, I've seen their videos like they teach people how to do basic exercise
Right.
and then how people get interested and then they will just join their gym. And they have like various gym, like they have many gyms in specific country, like, sorry, not country, city.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Anyone? Yeah, Mayank, you were speaking?
ओके या सो इंस्टा पे जो उन्होंने दिखाया लाइक वो अपना प्रोडक्ट को जो है वो बहुत ही यूनिक या बहुत ही इनोवेटिव वे में वो उसको दिखा रहे हैं लाइक जो उनका जिम वेयर जो है उनका वो उन्होंने वहाँ पे दिखाया साथ ही साथ उन्होंने बताया कि लाइक जिमिंग फीमेल्स जब जिमिंग कर रही हैं तो वो काफ़ी कंफर्टेबल होकर उसमें जिमिंग कर पा रही हैं एंड यूट्यूब की अगर मैं बात करूँ तो यूट्यूब में उन्होंने लाइक 7 डेज चैलेंज जो उन्होंने लिया तो 7 डेज चैलेंज मतलब लोग उनसे जुड़ते हैं उस चीज़ में अगर वो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट होगा तो और ज़्यादा लोग उससे जुड़ेंगे और अगर वो रिजल्ट देखेंगे तो और भी लोग उनके साथ जुड़ेंगे सो अगर मैं बात करूँ लिंक्डइन की तो लिंक्डइन तो वैसे भी प्रोफेशनल ही है वहाँ पे जो भी पैकेज लेकर आता है वो प्रोफेशनली लेकर आता है सो वहाँ पे उन्होंने प्रोफेशनली ही उसको यूज़ किया है सो थैंक यू
Okay, thank you. Molita?
Yes, so Cult has used strategically all the platforms what actually they're meant for.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn like professionals, only the content is professionally related. Insta, what it's meant for reels that way. So they have
Right.
created the content in such a way that it's meant for that platform, basically.
Got it. Right. Okay. Akshita?
Yes, so they have like promoted their activewear in, in the on the Instagram, and basically they're selling their they're promoting their gyms and everything on the YouTube more and LinkedIn more, like by showing videos in terms of challenges, in terms of kind of they're also selling their activewear as well, like accessories and
Yeah.
everything, gym accessories and everything. And I think they're more of promoting their LinkedIn for B2B, like for the purpose of selling their branches as well, like
Yes.
gym franchisees.
Correct. Got it. Yes. All of you are right. First of all, CultFit uses each of its platforms the way it has to be used or for the audience that it is built for, like, right? So they have easily they can cross promote any piece of content on all mediums, right? But they don't do that because they understand that each platform serves a different purpose. On YouTube, they can post these long format videos of how to do workouts, nutrition, health related podcasts, etc. Because people come on YouTube with the mindset to watch this kind of content. But on the other hand, on their Instagram, they have very short 10-20 second reels and they are done in a more engaging manner. Like there is a little bit of a dance, there's music, funny, relatable content that they're trying to do because that is the kind of content that works on a platform like Instagram, right? And LinkedIn, of course, they are talking about owning a cult franchise. They're keeping it very B2B, very professional network related on LinkedIn, right? And that's how most brands plan their strategy, content strategy, to be present on multiple platforms at the same time. Now, I want you guys to understand that this is not an easy job, okay? Not one single social media manager is not doing all of these, managing all of these platforms at the same time. It's practically impossible to do something like that. I mean, you can do it, but you won't be consistent with it because it's a very difficult one-person job. Most of these brands, that is why, have teams or agencies that they work with to pull off content like that. Now, for their Instagram content, they might be working with a different agency. For their YouTube content, they will be working with a very different agency, right? So that way, for to manage something like this content-wise, takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of bandwidth. Takes a lot of agencies and vendors that we work with to pull off something like that. Okay, so don't just because tomorrow if you get into social media marketing, don't think that you will be managing all of it single-handedly. It's impossible to do something like that. Okay, I just wanted to put that out as a note. Now, let me ask you a question. On Instagram, who is more popular or who is more influential? Is it the creator that is more important, or is it the brand that is more popular on social media? And why?
Create.
Creator, why?
Because
Why the
brand
It
creator?
is, yeah. Content creator role is very important. It makes like the one word which makes individual to stop and view that ad, like why they should view that brand. So it depends only on the content creators.
Got it. Okay, Mayank?
Okay, so I think in my point of view, I think brand is more popular because brands तब भी थे जब कंटेंट क्रिएटर नहीं थे या इन्फ्लुएंसर नहीं थे. सो ब्रांड आई थिंक ब्रांड ज़्यादा पॉपुलर होते हैं एंड बिकॉज ऑफ ब्रांड कंटेंट क्रिएटर इज एबल टू प्रमोट अ ब्रांड ही नहीं होगा तो प्रमोट क्या करेगा कंटेंट क्रिएटर. सो आई थिंक ब्रांड ज़्यादा मायने रखता है.
Okay. Anyone else?
In my
previously
view, अगर
Okay, one
Can
by
I go?
from
one.
my point of view, अगर देखा जाए तो अगर कंटेंट क्रिएटर या जो भी ब्रांड की एडवर्टाइज कर रहे हैं, इफ ही इज पॉपुलर देन ओनली कस्टमर फोकस ऑन लाइक जो भी व्यूअर्स होते हैं वो तभी उस पे थोड़ा अपना कंसर्न दिखाते कि हाँ चलो भाई क्या बोल रहा है ये थोड़ा देखो. तो देन ओनली लाइक वी गेट मोर व्यूअर्स, तभी हम ब्रांड्स को ज्यादा ये कर पाते हैं. एंड
Correct.
जो कंटेंट क्रिएटर होते हैं अगर वो पॉपुलर हैं तभी ब्रांड उनको लाइक इस तरह के ये चीजें के
Yes,
लिए लाइक एडवर्टाइजमेंट के लिए चूज करती है.
exactly.
सपोज अगर देखा जाए तो जब बायजूस के चल रहे थे प्रोग्राम्स तो शाहरुख खान को उन्होंने अपना ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनाया था. तो इस तरह की चीजें तभी होती है.
Correct. And even if there are no brands, creators still have content to post, right? They don't just start talking about brands from the get-go. Creators are approached by brands only once their organic content is done well, right? Brands have always been there, but on social media, who is more influential? It is always the creator who is more influential on social media. Yes, I see some more hands up. Preeti?
मैम शाहरुख खान
Yes.
himself is a brand.
Sorry?
शाहरुख खान himself is a brand.
Of course,
No,
and that's also an anomaly, right?
these
Shah Rukh
days
Khan is not a
layman
creator.
these
He's
days
an
layman
actor.
is these days layman is also becoming a creator, and people have
course.
started relying on creators these days.
Yes, of course, we do. Most of they basically become people who review things with, like us before. So we trust them before we buy something, right? That's the
Yes.
power of social media creators today. Yes, Abhineshti.
Yeah.
So, pretty much same thing. I just wanted to say that creators are more influential on social media because brands try and collaborate with them, and
Yeah.
each creator has their own genre, right? Some
Yes.
are comedians, some create
Yes.
just speak about the brand, and
Correct.
people are more influenced by them because some really use that particular product and give
Yeah.
a proper review. So it's not just like seeing another brand, seeing another advertisement on TV. This is
Yeah.
more authentic, I feel. So, yeah, again,
Absolutely.
creators are more.
Absolutely. Social media is built by creators. Brands came later on, right? Social media was always about people like you and I who wanted to share something about their lives. When brands realized that those things are getting popular, they also came onto these social media platforms to create their content. It is always that as a loop. It's never that because of brands, there are creators on that platform. That would never be the case, right? I'll give you a very interesting example to this, and I'm sure some of you might know about this. The whole Mama Earth controversy that happened with creators, right? Now, when Mama Earth was launched, it purely did influencer marketing through its initial months, okay? Heavy influencer marketing. Like any influencer, any skincare lifestyle influencer you knew was talking about Mama Earth, okay? Few months after their influencer campaigns were done, some creators started coming out and calling out the brand for the way the brands treated these influencers. Number one, the influencers said that the brand was not paying their money, whatever they were supposed to pay the creators, they were not paying the money. There were a lot of delays that were happening on their payments. Number two, creators started revealing that the brand actually told them that they can only speak nice things about the brand and only then they would get paid. So even if they did not like the brand, they could not be honest or they could not give a real review. They had to only say nice things about the brand. And some creators also revealed that upon using the product for a longer duration, they found that the formulation was not good. The skincare ingredients used in the products were not good. And in fact, it is not a brand that lives up to what it is promising with its products, right? This this outlash against Mama Earth became so popular that influencers started boycotting Mama Earth and said that we will not work with this brand anymore. Okay? Now, that is a brand that was built on social media, right? But was taken down by the power of creators who chose to reveal the honest truth behind these brand partnerships that Mama Earth was making them do, right? So creators can make or break your brand's image, especially a creator who has a lot of pull, a creator whom people really trust for their real reviews, right? If a creator talks about your brand in any negative manner, it can really hugely impact the kind of brand image that you have. So it is always the creator that will be more powerful than a brand. Okay? Now, to understand why people dominate on social media, let us understand how social media platforms work. And this is where we're going to talk about the algorithm, right? To understand how social media platforms work, we need to understand attention. Any reel that is going viral is only because it is getting enough attention from people on Instagram, right? Let's decode the social media network of algorithms. We are currently in something known as an attention economy. Brands and creators are doing everything that they can in their power to gain the one thing on social media, which is people's attention. It is the most expensive currency that you can buy on social media because people do not waste their time on content that they are not interested in. And when I say people, I'm talking about people like you and I also, right? We scroll through so many reels on a day-to-day basis. If within the first 1 to 2 seconds, if we are not engaged or if we don't find that reel important enough or relevant enough, we quickly scroll past, right? Imagine with that kind of a scroll rate, how are brands going to be creating content that is engaging? How can brands grab attention, right? That is what being successful on social media means. Okay, let's understand the attention economy a little bit more. Let's watch 2 videos to understand some concepts around attention economy.
Attention will get you everything you want. You want to sell a course? Attention. You want to sell a t-shirt? Attention. You want to be the mayor of this town? Attention. You want to raise some money for your nonprofit because you're passionate about it? Attention. You want to be an actor? Attention. It is the only asset that everyone in here must chase to produce what they want.
Okay, one more.
If you don't understand this attention economy, then you'll end up being bought and sold for peanuts. आपका डेटा लगभग फ्री है, आपको OTT पे चीजें फ्री जैसी मिल रही हैं, आपको YouTube पर फ्री मिल रही है, आपको memes फ्री मिलते हैं, reels फ्री मिलती हैं. लेकिन there is nothing like free lunch. And the old saying कि अगर कुछ फ्री मिल रहा है, then you are the product, right? So you are giving attention, which is more precious thing than the return resources you're getting. You give this attention to something which is worthy of your attention. You just don't throw it for peanuts.
If you look up just attention economy on YouTube or on Instagram, you'll find many such videos that talk about it, okay? Today, brands are literally paying for attention. When you're boosting your content, what does that mean? You're paying the algorithm to show your content to more and more people, right? You're literally paying for people,
If का डेटा लगभग फ्री है, आपको OTT पे चीज
which is the most important aspect of being on social media and the art of being social. What does it mean to be social for humans? How do they work, right? How does the social media network algorithm work? According to you guys, what is the most important metric on social media algorithm today? What is a good measure of success if you're on social media today? How do you know if your content is working? How do you measure your content success?
Ma'am, views, subscription, like, share, subscribe.
Correct. Absolutely. Bang on. Likes, shares, comments, views, saves, link clicks, and also something known as a repost that we have as a newest feature on Instagram, right? All of these metrics contribute to how popular your content is and how popular your page on Instagram is. This is just a small activity. There is this show called The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Whenever you guys have some time, maybe during weekday after work or maybe on the weekend if you have some time, and if you have not already watched it, please watch this show. This sort of gives you an insight into how the whole social media network works. Very interesting, very scary. But since you guys have chosen to be in social media marketing and social media network, you will find it quite intriguing. You will understand how the whole attention system works in social media. It's a very nice, it's a very interesting watch. And I would recommend that you all, give it a shot and watch this whenever you guys have some free time. So just note down the name. It's called The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Okay? I think we can watch a short. Is it the short?
What I want people to know is that everything they're doing online is being watched, is being tracked, is being measured. Every single action you take is carefully monitored and recorded. Exactly what image you stop and look at, for how long you look at it. Oh yeah, seriously, for how long you look at it.
They know when people are lonely, they know when people are depressed, they know when people are looking at photos of your ex-romantic partners, they know what you're doing late at night, they know the entire thing.
Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, or what kind of neuroses you have, what your personality type is like.
They have more information about us than has ever been imagined in human history. It is unprecedented.
That's just a small snippet. Please watch it. It's a very interesting watch. You will enjoy it. Trust me. Okay. So, like they say in the show, and like as we all are social media marketers, everything that you do on social media is tracked. From which page you are stalking, which content you have rewatched, how many times you have rewatched, which content you have scrolled past, which ex you are stalking on your Instagram. If you are being stalked by your exes, everything, every habit, every pattern. At what time do you usually log in on Instagram? How much time do you spend on Instagram on an average? Who are the people you engage with the most on Instagram? What kind of content you engage with or watch on Instagram? Every single thing is collected at the back end and single thing is known. And this data collection that happens at the back end is ultimately what we call the Instagram algorithm, right? Think about it. Now, tomorrow, if Mayank opens his Instagram, okay, and he starts scrolling his Instagram, he sees a very interesting video of gulab jamun parantha, okay? He does not like the concept of it, but because he found it so disgusting or so weird, he watched it multiple times to see if it's really real that someone has made a gulab jamun parantha, and he scrolls past it, right? He's not liked it, he's not engaged with it in any manner, but he's watched it a couple of times, even if it's just in disgust, and he's moved on. The algorithm now has understood that Mayank likes to watch certain this kind of bizarre content. So what the algorithm will do is it will start showing Mayank more and more content like that to evoke a certain emotion out of him. Even if he watched it in disgust, he's going to be shown more of that content just because the algorithm thought that this is what he is finding interesting. Now, tomorrow, if say I'm trying to pick another name in the team, I can't see. Hold on. Okay, let's see if Preeti is on Instagram tomorrow and she starts sending memes about how she hates her work-life balance to her friends. The Instagram algorithm would immediately understand that Preeti is someone who is probably unhappy with her work-life balance. So they will start showing her more and more memes or more and more content around other people and other pages posting about work-life imbalance or work-life balance, right? This is to ensure that someone like Mayank or someone like Preeti spends more and more of their time on Instagram, right? If Mayank is watching a reel 2-3 times, that's like 3 minutes of his life that he's giving on Instagram, right? So algorithm wants exactly that. He will keep showing Mayank and Preeti more and more content that they are watching, more and more content that they're engaging with to ensure that both of them don't come out of the app. And even if they come out of the app, they come back onto the app because they have found something relevant and relatable on the app, right? Now, as a user, of course, we are all victims of this attention economy. But as a social media marketer, this is exactly what you're trying to buy on Instagram, right? You want to create content with a hook that makes sure that your followers and non-followers stop and watch. How do you create that is the question. All of us have at least 10-15 ideas under every topic. But how many of us can actually come up with a reel that makes people want to watch that reel, right? How many of us are able to come up with a hook that actually makes people want to pause and watch that content? That is the game of social media. It is not just coming up with ideas. It is not just making a content calendar and posting every single day and then sitting and crying about why are my views not increasing or why are my followers not increasing. You can do just one reel per week and still go viral on Instagram only because that one reel was so powerful in grabbing someone's attention that it becomes viral, it gives you millions of views, it gives you millions of shares, and people end up following you. If it was a brand video where a product was shown, then of course, as a result of it, people will start looking up your product and people will start buying your product. That is why understanding what grabs attention is the most important bit of creating your content. And this is not just for a reel, it also applies for a carousel, it also applies for a static. What are the first few seconds of your reel about? What are the first few words of your carousel about? That determines if people will watch your content, first of all, and if they do watch their content, will they engage with that content? All of that is dependent on that. We have a separate class where we are discussing about what are the different kinds of hooks that you have. So visual hooks, sound hooks, etc. That is so we'll be taking a detailed view into that. So I'm not delving into it too much. And then after that, we have a separate class on reels and how do you come up with engaging reels, the do's and don'ts of reels, etc. So I'm not going to delve into it too much because there are separate bigger classes happening for that. But for this class's duration, what is important to understand is what you are watching is what the algorithm is going to show you more and more of. So if I am a travel brand, my target audience is people who are watching travel related content. My goal is to end up on the feeds of such target audiences so that they come to know about my brand, they buy from my brand, or they at least follow me and engage with my brand. How do you hack into your target audience's interest group is what Instagram is all about. Now, for example, when we do content for a page like Wonderla, which is an amusement park, there are different kinds of content buckets and content that I can do for Wonderla, right? But something that always gains a lot of virality is wherever I show, what it is actually what it actually feels like to sit on a roller coaster, right? So any POV reels that we do for Mandala go mega viral. Any content where we show people's real emotions on a high thrill ride goes mega viral because people like to watch, something that is relatable. People like to watch other people in situations that are funny or in situations that are messy because we like, ultimately social media is what is social media? It's watching somebody else's life and, either laughing at them or feeling sad for them or relating to them, right? So it's all about how do you make a customer or a viewer relate to your brand, right? Now, if I am a skincare marketer, if my product is skincare, I can't keep saying that, this is a sunscreen for 599, buy this sunscreen in the link in bio. No. But if I package it in a storytelling manner, saying that girls grew up with adult acne, which led to low confidence. And because of low confidence, we just were not feeling happy with the way we looked or the way, we were not able to use any makeup because our skin was not feeling well. But to combat all of that, we have a new product that heals your skin, that gives you your confidence back, etc. That is going to work better because there is a storytelling angle to it, right? You're not just telling someone, buy my product. You're reminding them about their problems in lives, and then you're giving them a solution in the form of your product itself, right? And that all of this put together gives you something known as a behavioral profile. We want to know what is our target audience's behavioral pattern on social media. So according to that, we create content for them, right? We'll watch a short ad. I'm sure everybody knows the brand, and I'm sure you have seen at least one of the ads of this brand. It is an ad, but in the context of behavioral patterns, this is fits bang on. So just give me a moment and let me pull it out. One second. Okay, it's a slightly low quality ad because it's a pretty old one, but you should be able to understand it. Okay.
एक और कॉफी देना।
दूध नहीं है, कॉफी। बेटी की कमाई यूं ही पीते जा रहे हो।
काश हमें एक बेटा होता।
कॉफी उनको देना।
एयर होस्टेस।
बदल दे दुनिया आपकी नए फेयर एंड लवली का 4 स्टेप एक्शन। पहला सनस्क्रीन धूप से बचाए, दूसरा चिपचिपाहट घटाए, तीसरा चेहरे से दाग हटाए और चौथा भीतर से निखारे आपको।
बेटा, एक कॉफी मिलेगा?
चेहरे पे लिखे नई तकदीर, नया फेयर एंड लवली।
Okay, I'm sure we have all seen multiple Fair and Lovely ads, through the growing years. And let me tell you, Fair and Lovely was the most sold face cream at one particular time in India because they figured the biggest problem that women have in India at that time, which was not being fair. And I mean it when I say that this was an actual problem that they were solving for. They knew that India as an economy is obsessed with fair skin, right? Anything fair means it's beautiful. Anything fair meant it's confident. And if you are fair, you can do anything in life. That was the concept. And almost, I think, one in every third household at one point had Fair and Lovely as a cream that was being used. And I'm sure still there are many families and people that still continue to use Fair and Lovely. There has never been any proven information on Fair and Lovely actually brightening your skin, by the way. But it's placebo effect. If you tell people that if you use this product, you're going to become fair, even if they're not becoming fairer, they just feel like they're looking fairer, and they just, mentally, psychologically, they start feeling more confident, right? Now, it's just a face cream ad. They didn't have to show it in this manner of a girl feeling so sad and depressed about her life and how her family situation. Her skin has nothing to do with her family's economic situation, right? But that's how the ad has been done. Because at that time, being fair, like I said, meant more confidence. And if you are fair and more confident, you're going to be more richer in life. That was the idea that the brand was trying to sell, right? So again, reiterating, when you are a brand, you are never selling just your product. You're selling a concept to your users, right? The same logic applies to social media as well. We remind people about what their problems are in life, and then we place our product as a solution to those problems. And that is where our creativity, our innovation, our thinking out of the box, all of those things come into play. So when you join a company as social media manager, you're not just somebody who's creating a reel for that brand. You are somebody who's going to understand who is the audience for that brand. What is that audience's problems, and how does your brand solve that problem for that audience? That is the thinking that has to go into your social media content plan or content strategy. That's how you approach social media. You're not just someone who's going to come up with funny meme ideas and get it executed. What meme concepts are actually relevant to your target audiences? That understanding needs to come first, and only then you're going to be able to solve for it. And once you understand your target audience, you will be able to speak their language. You will be able to talk about topics that are relevant to them, which means they will start engaging with your content because they feel more related to the brand. And that's how you grow your engagement. And as a result of it, you grow your following on Instagram as well. Brands like Zomato, which at one particular time was so popular on Instagram, were just posting relatable content. It was not about, buy this on Zomato or this is available on Zomato. It was about relatable content that they were trying to build. A brand like Swiggy today barely talks about buy this on Swiggy or this restaurant is on Swiggy, etc. They do interesting collaborations with people across India that you wouldn't even guess, right? Nykaa, I don't know how many of you all remember, last year, Nykaa had done this very viral collaboration with the trending character at that time called Ganji Chudail. I don't know how many of you all remember this. This was a character, it was an AI character called Ganji Chudail, whose videos were going mega viral. No brand even thought about collaborating with a page or a character like that. And Nykaa had done a hair oil ad with that character that went extremely viral. And then after that, a lot of other brands started collaborating with their product, with with that page as well. Now that page has died. Okay, now nobody's collaborating. It's the long forgotten trend. But they caught on to the trend. They became the talk of the town because they did something like that. So on social media, you're not just spotting trends, you're spotting creators who would be a good fit or who you can collaborate with for your brands, right? There was this other kid who used to give motivational talks in Malayalam and English. This kid in a suit who would say really motivational content. Blinkit collaborated with this kid, and then a lot of other brands started following suit and started collaborating with creators like that, right? So you need to have an open mind and you need to be alert always because anything could be going viral at on social media, and it just takes a minute for you to actually grab on to the trend. Any questions so far on the algorithm or anything that you guys want to ask or share for that matter? If you remember any other campaign like that.
मैम एक्चुअली जो आपने अभी तक बताया वो समझ में तो आया, बट बीच में जब मैंने हैंड रेस किया था तो उस टाइम पे मुझे
Oh,
कुछ कुछ चीज़ें समझ में नहीं आ रही थी. सो एट दैट टाइम आप जो डिस्कशन कर रहे थे वो कर रहे थे एल्गोरिदम कैसे, या हम कैसे सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं, क्या हम टॉपिक लेना है या क्या ट्रेंडिंग में चल रहा है, या कैसे हम लोगों को हमारी वीडियोस हम कैसे जो हम बना रहे हैं वो कैसे फेमस या पॉपुलर कर सकते हैं. तो वो चीज़ मुझे थोड़ी समझ में नहीं आई थी.
ओके, तो कैसे अपने वीडियो को पॉपुलर करना इज अ टॉपिक दैट वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट. मैंने वैसे बोला था, आई डिड नॉट लाइक गिव एनी टिप्स ऑन इट स्पेसिफिकली. सो दैट इज वन थिंग. दी व्हाट इज द अदर क्वेश्चन दैट यू हैड?
मैम यही वाला था एक्चुअली में क्वेश्चन तो.
ओके, तो अपने रील को कैसे वायरल करना है एटसेट्रा. आई मीन द टैक्टिकल पार्ट ऑफ इट इज कमिंग अप इन आवर क्लास ऑन रील्स. लाइक what do you actually do in a reel to make sure that everything is a tick box. But before we get into the tactical bit of it, you need to understand the strategy bit of it or the back end bit of it, right? Why do we do certain kinds of content for certain kinds of brand? वो समझने के लिए you have to understand your ideal customer or your target audience better, which is what we are trying to understand in this class. Which is why we're looking at psychological behaviors, behavioral patterns that your target audience shows on Instagram, etc. Like, for example, I'll give you the kind of product that you look for on Instagram tells a lot about what kind of a mental state you are in. Okay. Now, if you are someone who's losing a lot of hair, okay, you're having extreme levels of hair fall. When you come on a platform like Instagram and look for content, look for solutions for it, you are coming with an emotion of desperation, right? Because you want to fix something in your life. Which is why when you see content from brands that show hair transplants or hair fixations, etc., it will always be in a tonality which is more sympathetic, right? They would talk to you in the sense that, we know you're facing a hair fall. We know that it is impacting your confidence. Here's how you can get your confidence back. So the emotion with which that brand will talk to you is basically the emotion with which a person is coming to look for that product. On the other hand, if it is someone who's trying to look for a new brand of chocolate on Instagram or a new brand of, say, peanut butter on Instagram, we're coming from an emotion of curiosity. We're coming from an emotion of someone who loves trying something new, or who is probably a foodie, probably someone who likes to try new brands. So the kind of content that we would do for that kind of product is more fun, more quirky, more impulse buying, right? And more offer-led. Like, hey, you like this product? If you're a first-time user, you get a flat 10% off, or you get a buy one, get one free, or you get a free gift with anything that you buy, right? So the emotion with which a person approaches your brand determines the kind of content that you're going to do for them as well. So this behavioral psychology or the behavioral patterns, understanding that becomes extremely important. Because when you start off working, or if you're working in an agency, you're not just working on one brand, you're working on multiple brands. And each of the brands has a very different emotion associated with the product. Understanding that becomes very crucial. So that is what we're discussing in today's class. And we're taking some time to do that because it's important to understand that ideas don't just come out of nowhere, right? You have to understand why you are creating a certain content, especially if it is from a brand angle. Okay, I'll give you a live example. I think I spoke to you guys last class that we get a lot of complaints on our social media saying, why do we not open the Wonderla Park before 11 a.m., right? And people complain that, we come from far, we take a train and come to your park. Why can't you just open it earlier so we get to spend some more time in the park, right? This is a very negative sentiment that we were getting. We responded to it. Today we've posted that reel where we actually show what is happening at the park from 7 to 11 a.m. and why we can't have it open. Right? I'll just quickly show you the reel also. So because this is contextual right now, so just give me a minute.
Let's start.
Right? So it's all about understanding what your audience is asking from you. Are they asking for offers? Give them more offers. Are they asking for more information about certain products that you have? Give them that information, right? So a lot of your content ideas come straight from your target audience itself if you're listening and if you're alert enough to, notice that there are certain patterns of questions that are coming your way. So that's about the algorithm and the basics of understanding the algorithm. Okay? Any questions? Anything you guys want to ask? Okay, we're going to do a small activity just to understand what we've been discussing in today's class. Okay, I'm going to give you a brand, and I want you guys to look up that brand on its Instagram, on its Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Okay, I'll put that in the chat also. Just take 10 minutes to just go through each of their social media profiles, understand how different or how similar each of their content on different platforms look, and what is your understanding of whether their content strategy is good or not. Okay, there's no right or wrong to this question. I just want you guys to take some time and analyze their content on different platforms. So just give me a minute. I'll just pull it out and give it to you. 1 second. If you don't like the content that they're doing, you can say you don't like the content that they're doing. Okay, so you don't have to say it's good just because we are doing this activity. We're going to take a look at Cadbury Dairy Milk. This is their Instagram handle. Let me just pull their Twitter also. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at Twitter. Oh, they have not posted anything on Twitter actually. Let's see. Oh yeah, I can see. Okay, sorry. It was loading. This is their Twitter. Okay. This is their YouTube, and see, a minute, it's taking some time. Okay, but I'm only able to find their gifting. 1 second. Okay, it will be, I think, Mondelez. Okay, their Cadbury page is actually Mondelez's page on LinkedIn, so let's not look at that. We'll just look at the that's a parent company, so we'll not look at that. We take a look at their Instagram, YouTube, and their Twitter. Okay, so just take 10 minutes to go through their like how we did for Cultfit, right? Where we saw all of their content on different platforms. Take a look at what kind of content that they're doing on different platforms. According to you, what is working for them versus what is not working for them and has some scope. So, what is your understanding of their content strategy that's happening on these different platforms? Okay. Uh, Actually, it's all I can give you. Okay, we can reconvene at around 10 p.m. So I'll give you 10-15 minutes to do this. Okay. Is that okay? Okay. All right. I'm just going to switch off my video. I'm right here, but I'm going to switch off my video so you guys don't get distracted. Okay. All right. Can we come back to class? Who wants to go first?
Me.
Okay, Shresh, go ahead.
So I have seen their Instagram content and their YouTube. So YouTube is like more geocentric because they post more videos related to the Indian geo. Like
For
they post
example?
मतलब कि वो लोग एक वीडियो पोस्ट करते हैं with different languages which are spoken in India.
Okay,
And like when you go to Instagram, they are like worldwide. जैसे उनका पहला जो वीडियो था, so like they are giving a montage on Willy Wonka, the cap and all that. So
okay.
और वो विली वोंका का जो मोर्टाज था उसमें एक कि जो कैप एक वो कोरियन वेयर कर रहा था, और उसके बाद फिर कोरियन एक्टर्स थे उसमें, मतलब कि जो भी सिंगर्स थे एंड ऑल दैट। तो मतलब कि वो लोग ज़्यादा मतलब कि इंटरनेशनल जा रहे थे अपने इंस्टाग्राम पे, और अपने यूट्यूब पे वो लोग थोड़ा जियो सेंट्रिक थे। सो यूट्यूब मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि इंडिया के लिए ज़्यादा अच्छा वर्क कर रहा है, क्योंकि वो लोग अलग अलग लैंग्वेजेस में वर्क कर रहे हैं उसके साथ। और जो उनका जो इंस्टाग्राम है वो ज़्यादा फोकस कर रहा है वाइडर ऑडियंस पे।
Okay. Okay, according to you, is it a good strategy that they have, or is it not a good one?
इट्स अ गुड स्ट्रेटजी, क्योंकि यूट्यूब पे जो स्पेसिफिक आदमी देखना चाहता है कि वो चाहता है कि वो अपने से रिलेटेड कंटेंट देखे, क्योंकि वो लॉन्ग फॉर्म कंटेंट के लिए जाता है आदमी और वैसे जाता है। और इंस्टाग्राम पे तो वहाँ पे ऑडियंस ज़्यादा सेग्रीगेटेड है। सो लाइक वो चीज़ें देखती हैं, वो चीज़ें इंटरेस्ट करते हैं उसमें। अगर कोरियन कोई एक्टर्स भी हैं तो आदमी इंटरेस्ट लेता है उस पे।
Got it. Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing. Neha?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, according to me, on Twitter, they are more focusing on celebration for sports. So they are cheering every moments when the Indian team wins. So yeah. So and also they give motivation for Independence Day also, Independence Day celebration. And I saw one video for emotional, little bit emotional, and celebration for happiness on Twitter. And for Instagram, they are more focusing on Gen Z generation. They there is a celebrity endorsement for K stars, Korean stars. Yeah.
Okay.
And for YouTube, I observed there were playful videos, some playful videos, and they are engaging kids, and some storytelling videos, family videos. So
Got it.
according to me, for us, for India, YouTube and Twitter is, I think, good.
Okay. According to you. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Mayank?
ओके सो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी इंस्टाग्राम जो वो लोग इंस्टाग्राम पे पोस्ट कर रहे हैं दैट इज मोस्टली फॉर इंटरनेशनल क्राउड्स। सो आई थिंक मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इंस्टाग्राम पे चूंकि इंडियन पॉपुलेशन जो है वो इंस्टाग्राम पे काफ़ी है। सो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उनको कहीं ना कहीं इंस्टाग्राम पे इंडियन इन्फ्लुएंसर या फिर इंडियन क्राउड को भी उन्हें एंटरटेन करना चाहिए। तो इतना ज़्यादा उन्होंने एंटरटेन नहीं किया हुआ है। और जहाँ तक, क्योंकि बहुत कम समय था देखने के लिए, तो मुझे तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं दिखा कि वहाँ पे कुछ भी इंडियन क्राउड के लिए था।
Okay, hold on, hold on. I think we have, sorry, my bad. I think I gave the Cadbury Malaysia
एशियन
page.
पेज भेजा हुआ है आपने को, मैं सेंड किया।
Got it, got it. I'm so sorry. Wait, I'll just paste it here. You can take a quick look at it. I saw MY and then I realized that, okay, why is there so much international content and no Indian content? I realized I've just pasted the right one. Maybe you can just take a quick look at that also. Here you will see a lot more Indian content, of course. The tagline itself, I can actually just share from my screen so we can take a look at it together also. Right. So as you can see, even in the bio itself, they've written the tagline, which is "कुछ अच्छा हो जाए, कुछ मीठा हो जाए." And then when you scroll again, actually this is a much more active page than the Malaysia page. That might be a newer page, maybe. Not sure. This is probably during Christmas. Yeah, their posting frequency is quite less because since Christmas they have only posted like 6 times. So that's quite less. But yeah, here you can see some Indian influencers.
दिस इज शनाया, मेरी फ्रेंड की बेटी, एंड माई फ्राइडे ड्यूटी. क्यों? बेबी सिटिंग ऑफ कोर्स. और यहाँ आते ही इसके क्रेविंग शुरू हो जाते हैं और मुझे नए नए जुगाड़ ट्राई करने होते हैं, थोड़ा अलग, थोड़ा फन. आज करते हैं कुछ नए नए कॉम्बिनेशंस का टेस्ट टेस्ट. रेडी? ट्राई दिस.
Not good at all.
एक्सपेरिमेंट फेल, अबॉर्ट. ट्राई समथिंग एल्स. मीठे गुआवा में चटपटा चाट मसाला, ये मेरी मम्मी का सीक्रेट हैक है. सिंपल गुआवा में थोड़ा चाट मसाला डाल देने से सब कुछ बदल जाता है. और सबसे मजेदार कॉम्बिनेशन, नया कैडबरी डेयरी मिल्क मिल्की मिल्क, द आइकॉनिक डेयरी मिल्क चॉकलेट फिल्ड विद अ फन सरप्राइज इनसाइड.
Yum! I have not tried anything like this before.
Exactly. ये है असली फन कॉम्बिनेशन. चॉकलेटी आउटसाइड, मिल्की क्रीम इनसाइड. क्यों? सिर्फ बच्चे क्यों मजा करें? हम भी डिजर्व करते हैं थोड़ा फन कॉम्बो टाइम. ग्रैब योर कैडबरी.
Right. Okay, so they have a lot of mom influencers. Remember what I spoke about in the last class, right? If you want to sell a product for kids, you have to make the mothers the brand ambassadors, because if a mom is advocating for a product, it means that that product is good, or it's a product that you can feed your children. See, all of this is mom influencers. That I think their influencer strategy is working with mom influencers. That's what I'm able to see clearly right now.
मम्मा ने
Right?
बोला अच्छा है तो अच्छा है.
Right, exactly. That's what the logic that brands use, and it is actually true. If your mother says something is good, you don't research, you don't Google it, you just trust it that it is going to be good. So that's the exact logic that brands try to bring. Okay, my bad, I shared the wrong profile, but I think by now you get an idea of the differences and the similarities, right? Okay, Pushparaj. You're on mute, huh?
ओके तो आई एम सॉरी एक्चुअली बट वो मलेशियन पेज मैंने पहले देखा था. आई वेंट टू इंडियन
No
पेज
worries.
एंड
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
सो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी उनका यूट्यूब एक्चुअली बंच ऑफ एड्स है. कुछ है ही नहीं उसमें.
Okay.
शॉर्ट्स है 30 सेकंड 1 मिनट जो हम एड्स पे रन करते हैं.
हम्म
सो कंटेंट वाइज
शॉर्ट्स
वो
भी
बिल्कुल
वही
हेवी.
है, एड्स ही हैं शॉर्ट्स में भी.
बट मुझे उनका इंस्टा एक्चुअली हेवीली बेस्ड लगा उनके क्रिएटिव्स पे.
ओके
जो एक
ओके
ह्यूमन इंटरेक्शन जिसमें जो एक्चुअल इंगेजिंग रील होती है वो काफी कम लगा इंस्टा पे मेरे को.
ओके
जो ट्विटर मैंने देखा है वो काइंड ऑफ इनएक्टिव है अप्रैल 24 से.
ऑन यूट्यूब, ट्विटर,
एक्स ऑन ट्विटर
एक्स
पे.
एक्स ओके ओके हाँ.
यूट्यूब पे एक्चुअली काफी ज्यादा स्कोप है क्योंकि अगर हम चाहें कैडबरी अपने आप में काफी बड़ा ब्रांड है. सो यू कैन फाउंडर्स तो आई थिंक है नहीं, मुझे आइडिया नहीं उनके. बट सीएमओज हैं उनके जो अभी ऑपरेट जो आप जैसे टीम कुक एप्पल में जो उनका ऑपरेशन देख रहा है उनके साथ एक ठीक ठाक पॉडकास्ट कह लो या फिर एक उनका पीओवी क्या है और अलग अलग कंटेंट पे लोग एक्चुअली काम कर सकते हैं जिससे एक्चुअली एंगेजिंग बने और इंसाइट्स मिल सके जो बाहर की पब्लिक है उनको उनके यूट्यूब पे. उसके अलावा जो उनका इंस्टा है, उनके इंस्टा में अच्छी बात यह है कि वो अलग अलग रीजन के लोगों को एक्चुअली प्रमोट कर रहे हैं. चाहे वो बंगाल से प्रसन्नजीत को लेना हो या फिर साउथ से लेना हो या हिंदी से श्रेया त्रिपाठी को लेना हो, तो उन लोग काफी सही कर रहे हैं. बट इंस्टा पे आई थिंक वो काफी क्रिएटिव बेस्ड जा रहा है तो वो थोड़ा सा एंगेजमेंट कम कर रहा
गॉट ओके
है.
ऑल राइट. थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर शेयरिंग. मायंक, यू वांट टू ऐड समथिंग?
मैम एक्चुअली मेरा पॉइंट ही नहीं पूरा हुआ था.
ओह सॉरी, आई एम सो सॉरी, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, please go ahead.
सो इंस्टा का तो मैम हो गया था बट
हाँ.
जो ट्विटर पे मैंने देखा था वो मुझे काफी अच्छा लगा.
ओके
ट्विटर पे मुझे एक बहुत पुरानी वीडियो दिखी थी जिसका एक ट्रैक हुआ था कुछ खास है हम सभी में,
यस
है ना. और वो वाला जो ट्रैक था उन्होंने फिर से अभी एक नए वाले एड में यूज किया था
Yeah.
में एक सरदार जी जो है वो डांस करते हुए आते हैं, एंड
Yeah.
जो फीमेल प्लेयर रहती है वो क्रिकेट
I'll play that ad. I was going to play the ad after this. So I
यस
was
यस यस,
like,
एंड वो एड काफी अच्छा था, वो जो डांस करते हुए आते हैं वो बहुत ही
yeah.
आई कैचिंग था और बहुत मजेदार था।
Yeah.
एंड मुझे ऐसा लगा कि चीयर फॉर ऑल स्पोर्ट्स का उन्होंने जो एक टैगलाइन दिया था ना,
Yeah.
वो कहीं ना कहीं उसके लिए जो इन्फ्लुएंसर लिए वो भी उन्होंने क्रिकेटर ही ले लिए थे, लाइक हरभजन सिंह या
Yes.
युवराज सिंह। सो मुझे ऐसा लगा कहीं ना कहीं उन्होंने चीयर फॉर फॉर ऑल स्पोर्ट्स तो बोला था, बट उन्होंने कहीं ना कहीं उसमें भी बायसनेस ला ही दी थी। तो मुझे वो एक चीज थोड़ी सी अच्छी नहीं लगी।
Got it.
एंड उसके बाद मुझे यूट्यूब पे मैंने जो देखा वो हार्ट द हेट, मतलब अगर कोई आपको
Hmm.
हेट दे रहा है तो उसको आप हार्ट भेजो, तो वो मुझे
Hmm.
काफी अच्छा लगा। एंड
Nice.
इवन
Okay.
उसमें बच्चों के लिए काफी अच्छा था यूट्यूब में, जो साथ ही साथ जो बच्चों की जो राइमिंग्स आती हैं, लाइक एक मंकी वाला आता है, क्योंकि मैं भी पार्ट टाइम में बेबी सिटर हूँ। सो मुझे, हाँ, वो मैं देखता रहता हूँ टीवी पे, टेलीविजन पे, कि वो जो एक मंकी वाला आता है जिसमें वो बोलता है ओ नो, सो उसका जो बैकग्राउंड था वो पूरा उसमें दिया हुआ है, तो बच्चे उसमें बहुत ही ज़्यादा आई कैचिंग होते हैं बच्चों के लिए। एंड साथ ही साथ उसमें भी इमोशंस दिए हुए हैं, लाइक सिस्टर ने ब्रदर को भेजा कि फ्रिज में देखो कुछ है, तो उसको डेयरी मिल्क मिलती है, पहले वो खाता है, हाँ मिला क्या, बोले हाँ मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ। एंड जब वाइफ हस्बैंड से नाराज हो जाती है तो वो पीछे से कैडबरी पकड़ा। सो वहाँ पे कैडबरी जो है वो समहाउ बच्चों के लिए तो ठीक है, मॉम वाला जो उन्होंने एक इन्फ्लुएंसर लिया तो लिया, बट वो कहीं ना कहीं एक वैलेंटाइन प्रोस्पेक्टिव भी उसमें एक बहुत अच्छा एड ऑन हो जाता है, या किड्स प्रोस्पेक्टिव भी उसमें बहुत अच्छा ऐड हो जाता है।
Yeah.
तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इन लोगों के पास करने के लिए और भी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, बट ये उस लेवल पे कर नहीं पा
कर
रहे
नहीं
हैं।
रहे हैं, correct. Right. Yeah.
तो
Absolutely bang on. And I'd like to add that, first of all, of course, they're doing very different things. YouTube has very interesting content. Twitter, like you said, they have some interesting content. Instagram is also active. But when you think of a brand like Cadbury, you would expect much more from a Cadbury, right? Especially on their Instagram. Now you look at their content, of course, I mean, if it's most of it is boosted, most likely, that's why you can see insane views on it. And they work with the top influencers. So it's not like they don't have the money to spend on influencers. Okay, all of the Debina, Mahi, which are all very, very expensive influencers to work with. So it's not that they are not spending money. But it's just that it's not creative enough for a brand like Cadbury. The kind of ads that they do versus the kind of social media strategy that they have is very different. And the social media strategy is actually lacking. And I'm glad, Mayank, that you pointed it out, because that's what I told you when I gave you the activity, that if you don't like it, you don't have to say that they have a good strategy. But it's about understanding that where that brand is so popular, right? If you just tell me Cadbury, right, I would actually imagine that the page would already have, say, 1 million followers or 2 million followers, because that is the kind of pull that Cadbury as a brand has. And I would expect that Cadbury does very interesting, unique content for all its audiences on its Instagram or YouTube, which is not something that I was noticing, right? So, of course, some brands are legacy brands, very popular, but their social media strategy is not exactly working, right? Or maybe so there is much scope for it to get improved, right? Now, this kind of understanding comes because now we are slowly understanding why brands are on social media. We're slowly trying to understand algorithms. We're trying to understand behavioral psychology, etc. Right? So when you keep all of those things in mind and then look at Cadbury's content on different platforms, there is a mismatch. Like, clearly there is a lot that they are not doing, even though they have the potential to do it, right? So, which is where people like us come into play, right? So, tomorrow, if a Cadbury is hiring for a social media manager, definitely one of the questions that you are asked is, do a content audit of our content right now. Tell us what is working, what's not working, what are some gaps, etc. Now, just because if I'm going to interview for Cadbury, just because I'm interviewing and I want the job, I'm not going to say nice things about the brand. I'm going to tell them that according to me, these are 5 things that are working, but these are 10 things that are not working, right? And that's where you will say these are 10 things that are not working, and here's how I would fix this if you were to hire me. That's how you smartly, show up in your interviews. And this is exactly what we look for. And I'm speaking from an industry expertise because, like I said, I hire, right? And this is one question I always ask in my assignment that I give, that please do a content audit of whichever brand I'm hiring for. Please do a content audit and tell me what are the gaps, what are the opportunities, what's working, what's not working. And I always judge people or candidates by how honest they are about the brand. Like there are people who would only say nice things to make me feel good, but you don't realize that I don't want someone to make me feel good about my brand. I want someone to tell me what we're not doing right and come join my team and fix it for me, right? So that's why you need to learn how to audit content well. So you figure out if something is good, something is good enough for a brand versus if something is not good enough, right? Of course, budget constraints are a thing, but you can clearly see they have a lot of budget. It's just not being utilized well, right?
Budget is not the issue for Cadbury, like brand
Yeah,
like Cadbury.
exactly. They don't have to worry about money like that.
यस एंड मैम वन मोर थिंग कि
Yeah.
उनके पास जो मार्केट या फिर उनका जो टारगेट मार्केट है उन्होंने वो भी अभी पूरी तरह से एक्वायर नहीं किया है
Explore.
मेरे
Yeah.
हिसाब से,
Hmm.
क्योंकि जो लाइक एज ग्रुप ऑफ 60+,
Yeah.
they are also very much curious about या बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड होते हैं वो स्वीट्स के लिए. लाइक
Right.
मेरे फादर
Hmm.
हम लोग किसी भी पार्टी में जाते हैं, हम लोग कहीं पे भी रहे, हमें हमारे फादर को ढूंढना होता है, तो हमें मालूम है वो स्वीटनेस वाले जो स्वीट स्टॉल होगा वो वहीं पे मिलने वाले हैं. सो तो ये वाला जो एक मार्केट है, टारगेट मार्केट है कैडबरी का, उन्होंने इसको बिल्कुल एक्सप्लोर ही नहीं किया है. सो
Got
ये भी एक पॉइंट है कि जो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि वहां पे बिल्कुल मिसिंग था.
Got it. Interesting point. Thanks for sharing that.
थैंक यू.
Anybody else who has any more insights to share? Okay. So I'm just going to quickly play the ad that Mayank did mention. I was anyway going to show it. It's one of my most favorite parallels of ads to showcase my mentees. So they did two ads. One was in the 90s and one was in 2022 or 23 when they rebranded the logo and went back to their original logo. They had relaunched the ad that they did. I'll show you both the ads. Just give me a minute. I'm going to show you the older one, which is the 90s one first, and then the newest one. Okay.
कुछ खास है हम सभी में, कुछ बात है हम सभी में, बात है खास है, कुछ स्वाद है, क्या स्वाद है जिंदगी में.
कैडबरीज डेयरी मिल्क, असली स्वाद जिंदगी का.
Okay, that's the old ad, and now I'll show you the newer one.
कुछ खास है हम सभी में, कुछ बात है हम सभी में, बात है खास है, कुछ स्वाद है, क्या स्वाद है जिंदगी में.
कैडबरीज डेयरी मिल्क.
Right. So when Cadbury was rebranding, so if you see the newest logo that Cadbury has versus the one that they had 3 years ago, it's very different, right? So they went back to their older Dairy Milk logo in 2022 or 2023. I'm not able to exactly remember. And to launch the fact that they're going back to their older font, they re-released their very popular ad from the 90s, but with a new avatar. So now instead of a male cricketer, it was a female cricketer. And the one cheering, I mean, the genders were reversed, right? And of course, the whole concept of good luck girls came in. So they recreated an ad exactly, like frame to frame recreated the same ad, but they kept up with the, the new age of where not just, men are not the only people who are succeeding in sports, but it's also women, right? So they took a stand for women cricketers and women sports players. It was like an ode to them. So they changed their narrative according to the changing times, right? So that's how you adapt. Sometimes you don't have to do anything new, anything crazy. Something that worked for you earlier, you can just recreate it with a fresh outlook, and that can also go really viral. Both the ads were very viral ads for Cadbury. Ogilvy had done the older ad. Ogilvy itself did the newer ad as well. So people were very appreciative. It was an ad campaign that did really well, right? And of course, the tagline changed. Like in the 90s, it was kuch the swad zindagi ka, and versus here, it's kuch acha ho jaye, kuch meeta ho jaye, right? So the tagline has changed, but literally everything else is frame to frame similar. So a brand like Cadbury that does such interesting content like this can definitely do much better in their social media content, right? Like there are lots of gaps in contents that they need to fill to live up to the kind of hype the brand already has. And brands like, you might think that Cadbury is already so popular, their social media might already be popular. But today, like we all saw together on the class, actually they're not doing as much as what their potential is like, right? So there's always that scope to do something better. So that's wrapping up today's class. So just recapping what we did in today's class, right? So we took a look at what are the social media platforms that are currently trending. Why do we use each platform, right? What is each platform popular for? Why do we use LinkedIn versus why do we use Pinterest versus why do we use Instagram? After that, we took a basic look into how the Instagram algorithm works, where we understood that everything the algorithm does is based on attention economy, which means whatever is quickly able to grab your attention is going to do better on Instagram. That's what the algorithm is going to keep pushing to newer audiences. Okay. And then we understood how this attention economy actually tells us more about the behavioral patterns on any platform that you're on. So on Instagram, we know that the behavioral pattern is very quick reels, right? Very quick content, something that catches your attention within the first 1-2 seconds. People will watch it. If it's not grabbing your attention, people will scroll past it. In the next class, we're going to learn about what are some of these hooks that you can use to keep your audience engaged or to grab attention of your audiences. And of course, we will keep learning a little bit more about the algorithm as we progress in classes. We also did a social media audit for Cadbury across their Instagram, YouTube, and their X content. And we all had our own insights on what's working, what's not working, what could be better, etc. And that's what we call a content audit for any brand that we sometimes, when you're asked for, the phrase is content audit. So if someone tells you, can you do a quick content audit for this page, it means they want you to check their social media platforms, do an analysis of what's working for them versus what's not working, and give your insights according to your analysis. Okay, so that was what we did in today's class. Any questions?
Hi, Captain.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just have a thought.
Yeah.
Is it because the brand is very popular that they are not doing much of content on the social media?
Could be. That's a valid point. They might think that, they are already so popular, we don't want to do much on social media. But the thing is, if they really did think like that, they wouldn't even be doing the kind of influencer collaborations that they are doing, right? Like I said, they are doing expensive collaboration. They're doing collaborations with expensive influencers. So it is that they are trying to, like create some buzz out there, but not as much as they are capable of that way.
Okay. So
And
in that,
probably it's one of the most like lowest hanging fruit. Like they have obviously their performance marketing, Facebook ads, etc. might be their priority, and maybe social media is not as much of a priority, right?
I see. So is there possibilities like a bigger brand may be less active on social media? Do you have
Yes.
any such examples?
Cadbury is one such brand like that. I will also give, it's not a big enough brand, but there is a brand called Happilo, which is a dry fruit brand primarily. They were, sorry, not Happilo, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Eat Sure. Eat Sure, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
It's a
it
brand
is. It's sure. Yes.
like Zomato and like Swiggy, right? It's Eat Sure,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
True.
Eat Sure as a brand, so like unlike Zomato and Swiggy, you can order from multiple places at the same time on Eat Sure. That was their proposition. That was a brand in 2023. They were the official food partners for RCB in IPL, which meant that in all of their all RCB matches, they were the only food vendor at the stadium in the matches. And of course, they have spent crores of money on it. Okay, but I knew this because someone I knew was the head of marketing at Eat Sure. So because I was in touch with that person, he used to tell me that for IPL we are spending this kind of money. This is the kind of collaborations that we are doing. But what was really, surprising to know was that even though they spent so many crores on that IPL campaign, there wasn't much on their social media. Like they had posted about them being RCB's partners, but no collaborations with key cricketers. No video of whatever they sold at the stadium, or what was happening at the stadium, what kind of products were they selling for IPL. None of that content happened on social media. So even though they had IPL is one of the most hot selling trending topics on Instagram when IPL season comes. So any brand who's not sponsoring for IPL also does some sort of content around IPL because you know that it's going to trend and it's going to go viral. So knowing that this brand spent so many crores and still did not monetize on that content for social media, that's one example that comes clearly in my mind that they did so much offline, but none of it actually translated online. Anyone else?
मैम एक बार
Yeah.
पिंटरेस्ट आप एक बार और बता देंगे क्या थोड़ा सा पिंटरेस्ट के बारे में?
Pinterest is basically more for a visual-led audience, okay? Now people who use Pinterest know that we go there for inspiration. So if I have a friend's wedding coming and if I want to have some inspiration of lehengas, I would go on Pinterest, I would look up pink lehenga or bridesmaid lehenga, etc. Multiple images along with brands would come up on my feed. Now I can create a separate folder called lehenga and add all of these. I can pin all of these inspirations onto that. And later, if I want to purchase it, I can purchase from the link given, or I can show it to my tailor and get something done. Or like similarly, home decor. If you go and search minimal decor for small size bedroom, you get multiple visual aesthetics of how you can style your small bedroom. And along, so a lot of brands create blogs that are listed on Pinterest. So if I am a brand that sells bedroom decor, I can have a section where I just show different kinds of bedroom ideas, and under that I would give a link. So if you click on the link, you will land on my website and you can buy the products that are there in the bedroom, right? So it's more like visually helping someone make a purchase. So fashion does really well on Pinterest, decor does really well on Pinterest, fitness also does very well on Pinterest. Pinterest also has a lot of motivational quotes, okay? So sometimes when we want to do some interesting content, we come on Pinterest to get some nice motivational quotes that we can use on our reels. So you can use Pinterest for something like that. So it's heavily visual led. I think someone has written wedding ideas, birthday ideas, best boards available on Pinterest. Yes. Anything you want to plan a bachelorette, you'll have the best ideas on Pinterest. So visually, it's very appealing to and certain brands work really well on Pinterest.
ओके इट मींस मतलब हमें कुछ भी चीज वहां पे सर्च करनी है तो सीधे वेबसाइट की लिंक हमें वहां मिल जाती है.
वेबसाइट का लिंक मिल जाता है, उससे ज्यादा आपको इंस्पिरेशन मिल जाता है कि हाउ यू, इट्स लाइक एन आइडिया बोर्ड. इट्स लाइक इफ यू वांट समथिंग यू गूगल थिंग्स, राइट? Pinterest works like that for a more visual audience.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
No worries. Anything else? Yeah.
I wanted to ask, it is my first class. I don't know how
Okay.
many classes.
We only had one class, which was an orientation introduction class on Monday. Don't worry.
Okay.
There'll be a
Okay.
recording for it, so you can look into it also.
All right. Thank you.
No
And
worries.
is there a WhatsApp group for this?
I don't know if you guys have a WhatsApp group, but usually Slack is where you guys are connected on, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
have a WhatsApp group also. Just land your number to Tasmia. Tasmia will help you.
All right. I'll connect her. This mail.
Okay. All right. We'll wrap up today's class. I'll see you guys for the next class on Friday. Right? Yeah, today's Wednesday. Yeah, we'll have our next class on Friday.
Is there any
Okay.
activity for today?
No activity for today. But watch Social Dilemma on Netflix if you can. By
Definitely.
Friday, or watch it on the weekend. But
Definitely.
please watch it. It will be really helpful.
Okay. Thank you,
Sure,
ma'am.
sure. Thank
Okay.
you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you so much. Bye,
All
everyone.
right. Thank you.
Okay.
See you. Good night.
Have a good night.